It's season 2 of Ag and Culture, and of course we are talking culture. Tune in for great guests and conversation, breaking down all things agriculture. Watch us on our YouTube channel, MS Footprint Farms, and on Facebook at Footprint Farms. Every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, and 7 a.m. on the West. Proudly sponsored by Heifer USA.
Listen up. Every election is important, but the 2022 general election is one of the most important of our lifetime. If we don't vote, all the economic, educational, political, racial, gender, and cultural gains made since the end of slavery could be lost. That's why I'm coming to you asking, no, I'm begging you to vote absentee in person, vote absentee by mail after September 24th if you qualify. And by all means, if you can't vote absentee, vote at the polls on November 8th. A woman's right to make medical decisions about her body is already gone. Voting rights have been seriously suppressed. Let's not wait until your legitimate marriage is nullified or a segment of the population is again enslaved to understand how critical it is to vote. Your vote is the one that matters. Your vote is the one that can save our democracy. If you don't believe me, try it. Just go vote. Presented by Asa Philip Randolph Institute, Central Mississippi Chapter.
Good morning and welcome to Ag and Culture. Today is a great day. Today is Election Day. It's LeGrand, who's not here with us this morning, but let me just tell you, he's working hard on the farm. He's farming today. But I have a great guest with me today who need no introduction. However, this day, we're going to be talking about something that's so important. It's about voting, power, election. This is the other part of our culture. With me today is Judge E.J. Russell. I like to say E.J. But Madam Judge, we're so happy to have you here today to talk about this important topic. Today is the day. And we have to make sure that our vote counts. What do we need to do? What's going on? Let's start with our state, our Congress, and our city.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dr. Ayers. It's just so much going on. I don't know where to start.
We're going to start. It's going to be fun.
We're going to start. We're going to jump right into it. But yes. It is General Election Day in the United States of America.
In the United States of America.
All across the country.
Everyone is voting today that hadn't already voted absentee.
Exactly. Everybody is voting today. And today on this ballot, we are featuring congressional, state, judicial, and school board races, in addition to a few special elections here in Mississippi. But all across the country, every congressperson is on the ballot.
So you're telling me today, of all days in America, we have the same opportunity, the same power to go in and vote and make a big difference in how we're governed for the next 4 years.
Girl, I am so glad you said that, because everybody has one vote. Elon Musk, with his billion, he's only got one vote.
I mean, but he has Twitter.
Well, he's got Twitter, but that can influence, but he's got one vote.
One vote. He has one vote.
He has one vote.
I have one vote.
That's right.
Here we go, Eli. Come on.
All right. And you can have an impact, because your vote might be the one to save the democracy, believe it or not. Regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, you might be the vote to save democracy. I've seen so many elections over the years won by 1 and 2 votes, and you may have an appeal and all of that, and it still comes out a difference of 1 or 2 votes.
So it's almost like this great lottery, right? One person might win or 2, but you have an opportunity to get into this. So you're telling me, Judge, and let me make sure, today in America, and in my great state of Mississippi, in my city of Jackson, or anywhere in America, but especially in the state of Mississippi, we have the opportunity to go out and to do one of the most powerful things we can do, and that's to go out and vote. And understand the importance of that. It is not something that I can do tomorrow. You have to do it today. It is truly time sensitive.
Today is the last day for this election cycle for you to vote. The polls are open
right now,
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you are in line when the clock strikes 7 p.m., you will still be allowed to vote.
So wait a minute now. I could be number 999 still in line, and it hits 7 o'clock, and they still got to stay there for me to vote.
They got to stay there.
They cannot close the polls. They can lock the door, or they can close the gate, but they have to let me stay in.
They have to let you stay in and vote. And another thing you need to be aware of is that if your name is not on that roll book, that poll book, where they look and search, don't be discouraged. Don't be denied. Tell them, I'll vote affidavit.
So an affidavit. So wait a minute now, let me be clear. If I go in there and I got my ID and I've said this is where I vote, and they can't find me on the books, I can still say I want to vote. I want to cast my vote, and I want to do an affidavit.
Exactly. And they have to allow you to cast that affidavit ballot. Now, there's a little bit more responsibility that you have to take, because now you need to go to your circuit clerk's office in your county. This is in the state of Mississippi. You have to go to that circuit clerk's office and show proof that you are actually entitled to vote where you said you were. Because now purging the rolls happens all the time. And there are people like me who sometimes travel. And if the mail delivers something on the first day that I'm gone, and they say you need to, validate your voting precinct and this kind of thing within 10 days, I may be gone for 14 days. So I've missed my opportunity at that point. And if I didn't take care of it before, I got to take care of it within 5 days of casting that ballot today, November 8th.
So I have 5 days.
5 working days.
5 working days. So today is Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? No. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Monday.
Tuesday. So I have until next Tuesday to go to my circuit clerk's office and to show my ID and say I voted affidavit.
Exactly.
And I want to make sure that it's counted. So they're not going to count that night then? They're not going to count tonight?
They are going to count tonight, but they will also be updating, and they are not going to certify.
Key word.
It's still open, because people who mail an absentee ballot today, if you receive that absentee ballot through the mail and you complete it and put it in the mail today, November 8th, they have to give it 5 days to arrive.
So then I can have it today in my hand. Do I need to drop it in that box, or do I need to take it inside to that post office and make sure?
Just drop it in the mail as long as it is postmarked. If you're comfortable that it's going to be postmarked at your post office, or if it's going to be picked up at the box and postmarked that night, then by all means, do what is best for you.
Okay, I have a question for you.
You don't have to go in.
So suppose I sent in to do an absentee. And I have it here, but I'm now in town, and I want to go and vote in person. What happens?
Well,
can I still do that and just not mail it?
You can, but sometimes that does kind of confuse the process.
That would be me, confusing the process.
Yes, you can go ahead and vote, and but they don't like for you to do that. They really don't, because that kind of messes them up.
Okay, so then I need to just go on and
drop it in the mail,
box.
Spend that 50, 60 cents, whatever postage is these days. It keeps going up so fast, I can't keep up with it. Dr. Ayers, I tell you, every time I turn around, they're increasing.
Well, it's this day and time, but we still need our mail. We need to still do this. Now let's get back to something again. This is very dear, because we know that we had so many of our ancestors who fought in the 60s and beforehand just to have this opportunity to vote, because we've been denied as black people for generations to vote.
And still continue to fight, Dr. Ayers, because every time you turn around, Congress or in state legislators, particularly in red states, are enacting laws to try to suppress the vote, and not to mention all of the outside agitators. So
I'm hearing from some people earlier this morning that's ahead of us in time, since there are people out there sitting in the back of their car, on back of their trucks. This is some of the rural areas, that they're sitting out there in the back of their trucks, and some of them say they have weapons.
Well, you know, you have open carry in the state of Mississippi, so there's nothing wrong with them having weapons. And in my mind, that kind of action is designed to intimidate. But, you know, don't be intimidated. If you live in rural areas, you ought to be accustomed to guns. I know I grew up around guns. My dad, my brothers went hunting and every now and then I would sneak a shot myself, but don't be intimidated because they've got a weapon, and hopefully they are sane enough that they will typically just use it for intimidation and not actually try to harm someone.
So just like it's been in the 50s and the 60s of intimidation, and when it comes down to making a difference or having your voice heard, it's always been something put in front of you to keep you from doing that, which tells me how important and how powerful. The key word is how powerful we are with our vote. Now, we're the ones who's not using that power. We're just giving it away.
Yeah, we're just saying, oh, it doesn't matter.
It matters.
Doesn't count. You know, and people have literally gave their lives.
True that.
People have suffered disabilities as a result of beatings, just trying to exercise that right to vote, because those individuals who try to intimidate and suppress your right to vote know and understand just how powerful it is. It controls every facet of your life.
Even though you don't think it does. But it does.
And
everything.
Everything, because even if it is not a direct vote for the people who you elect appoint, in many instances, judges and heads of agencies and people who have the ability to make decisions about your life. So voting, I can't say it enough times. I can't stress it strong enough how important it is to cast that vote. I'm there every time the polls open, even if it's dog catcher. I've even gone sometimes and the polls are closed because there's nothing on the ballot for my area. But I am going to try to exercise my right to vote every opportunity I'm given.
Yeah, and in any way we can. So Judge, let's get back to today. So I'm in Hinds County. So this is my my neighborhood where I vote, and I know my precinct. And we're going to be able to talk about the different precincts, the different places, and other things you can do. But we have to pay the piper. We're going to go for a commercial break real soon. And because my co-host, LeGrand, is not here, I'm going to handle this ship. So I want you to hold that thought, and we're going to come back.
Heifer USA is a nonprofit that supports small-scale, sustainable livestock businesses, and we are currently seeking individuals interested in pastured pork production in the state of Mississippi. Applicants should have access to at least 35 acres of land and be willing to participate in in-depth training, both online and in person at Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas. To learn about our operation, check out the Pastured Pigs playlist on the Heifer USA YouTube channel, or contact Farmer Engagement Specialist Ruth Canada at 501-391-5511.
Footprint Farms is a beautiful 68-acre vegetable and cattle farm located in Jackson, Mississippi, and is Mississippi's largest urban farm. The mission of Footprint Farms is to provide the community access to healthy food choices, introduce our youth to agriculture, and provide training and technical assistance to small farmers and ranchers. The farm is open to the public every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. to purchase fresh produce or visit us at the Mississippi Farmers Market located near the fairgrounds. We accept all forms of payment, including EBT and SNAP benefits. Looking for a beautiful venue for your next wedding, family reunion, or dinner? Footprint Farms offers a 3,000 square foot facility on 5 beautiful acres, perfect for your next event. For more information, visit our website at footprintfarms.com, Facebook and Instagram at Footprint Farms, or call us at 601-910-5534. Footprint Farms, farm fresh, city sweet.
Listen up. Every election is important, but the 2022 general election is one of the most important of our lifetime. If we don't vote, all the economic, educational, political, racial, gender, and cultural gains made since the end of slavery could be lost. That's why I'm coming to you asking, no, I'm begging you to vote absentee in person, vote absentee by mail after September 24th if you qualify. And by all means, if you can't vote absentee, vote at the polls on November 8th. A woman's right to make medical decisions about her body is already gone. Voting rights have been seriously suppressed. Let's not wait until your legitimate marriage is nullified or a segment of the population is again enslaved to understand how critical it is to vote. Your vote is the one that matters. Your vote is the one that can save our democracy. If you don't believe me, try it. Just go vote. Presented by Asa Philip Randolph Institute, Central Mississippi Chapter.
Welcome back to Ag and Culture. I'm your host, Cindy AYERS-ELLIOTT, and today is a special day. It's Election Day. First, let me thank our sponsors, Heifer International, Heifer USA, for giving us this opportunity to come to you with this show. They're great friends. They believe in ag. They believe in people and culture, and they want to make a difference throughout this country. And right now, they're making a major impact right here in our state of Mississippi. We're so happy to be a part of Heifer International family for sponsorship. But today, and they'll be very proud of me talking about this, it's all about making a difference in your community. Today, we're talking about making one of the biggest difference in your community, and that's by voting. And Judge, we're back to this topic, which is going to be my favorite topic all day. Vote, vote, vote.
That's right. You've got until 7 p.m. tonight to cast that ballot, and I encourage you to go. Take a friend, call family. Make sure that everybody in your circle is aware so they don't use the story of, oh, I forgot. Be responsible and call them, text them, email, post on Facebook. Please go vote. Please go vote.
And if necessary, go and pick them up, because
if they need
a lot of times they might not say, we don't have a way to go. I don't have transportation. Well, take that excuse away, or take that bump in the road out and go and says, I'm going to pick you up. Be ready at 10 o'clock. I'm going to be there to get you and take you to the polls and bring you back. We have to now more than ever reach out and make that difference, just like we do in everything else we have to do, and that's making a difference. And we can do this. And today is all about taking care of our neighbors and ourselves by going, picking them up, calling them, touching them, making that connection. So let's talk about
voting. Some more. And I just want to share my sense of pride with people who have already cast their votes. Across the country, it's estimated that over 40 million people have voted absentee, Dr.
40 million.
40 million.
This is higher than it was in the presidential race during this time.
And the midterm, if you want to do an equal comparison, is higher than it was in 2018.
And that was a big time.
So people are enthusiastic. People understand that so much of our way of life is on the ballot at this point.
They're trying to truly turn back the hands of time. And I hope we really realize what's happening, what has happened. Well, let's take one. Let's take the U.S. Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. That was how many years ago? And the statute in the Constitution.
Over 50.
Turn it over.
But let me tell you about, and I'll close it out with this on the absentee ballots, because I want to bring it close to home. In that, the Secretary of State for Mississippi reported that 51,849 absentee ballots were requested. They sent out 51,232. I wonder why they didn't send them all out, but maybe people
came in and voted,
or did something different. And then they sent out the 51,232, and 46,120 absentee ballots have been received in the circuit clerk's office as of Sunday.
But they still have until today to drop it in the box.
They still
if you
have
not,
until today. Yes.
And it will still be counted and voted. The vote you cast will still be counted, added to the count that they do before they certify all the votes are in. Correct?
Exactly.
So we're excited about this, and just to know, if you have received your absentee ballot and you have not taken it to the mailbox, you need to do it today. It needs to get in today. And what you have to do is just take it and drop it in that box, and it will get there. Make sure it's signed, make sure that the postage is on for it to get to its destination. It's going to go into your circuit clerk's office, and then they will open it, and it'll be counted and then added to the count that comes in from your polling place. It'll be put in with your box, your precinct, and then it will be counted.
Absolutely.
So EJ, tell me this. I mean,
when you do that, it's always something, Dr. Ayers.
Now tell me this. Now, I am a voter, and I have been voting, and you talked about something before, purging. So if my name is not on the book, and I've been voting all this time, I'm not going to go in there and make a scene. I voted here last time around. I voted. I'm calmly going to say, well, if you cannot find my name, I know this is my precinct. Here's my ID. Exactly. I want to cast my ballot as an affidavit.
Yes.
No need to get upset about it. because this is another way. Again, they put things in place for you to get upset or discouraged, but you just stand right there until they give you that ballot, and then you cast your vote. But now again, I got my little glasses on, but if I take these babies off, or I left them at home, it's going to be hard for me to read. So my granddaughter's with me, plus I want her to see the importance of doing that. And I need some help. What do I do? Can she come and help me while I do this ballot?
She can, but you must ask for that help. You must notify that poll manager.
The poll manager that's there.
Yes, that you need some assistance because you are unable to see, or you are unable to read and write, or you have a physical disability. And then that you need some assistance. The only way they should deny you that assistance is if the person you are asking to assist you is your employer, a representative of your employer, or a member of a union in leadership that you belong to. Otherwise, they should allow you to have that assistance.
So I can then take her or take him in there with me to help me vote. So now it will still be cast, and it'll be going into the machine. So now at the end of the day, when they tally all of these counts that's been voted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then what's the next step? What does it go after that? What happens to it?
What happens to the ballot?
To the ballot?
Or the affidavit?
Both.
Well, they are supposed to secure them, and then they certify them at a date set. I don't really remember how many days it is after the election that they have before they certify, but they certify them, and that person is then deemed to be the winner. And they can contest. They have to look at the statute to determine, how many days they have to challenge the result. But I assure you, every vote counts in this process. And because I remember one that comes to mind, there are a couple up in Canton, Mississippi, where they were won, lost, won again, lost again with a couple of 2 or 3 votes.
Goodness.
I mean, literally. But I remember one in Hinds County where Peggy Calhoun, I think, won literally with 1 vote.
That makes a difference.
Earlier in her
when she was running for
career.
Supervisor.
Yes, 1 vote made the difference, and it could have been yours. Could have been yours.
And she was my supervisor, so it was mine. I did that because I made sure that I was there to support. But all right. So now I'm ready. I mean, okay. I'm ready to go and cast my ballot to do that. But now I just happen to be off work, and I just happen to have on this T-shirt that says Alpha Kappa Alpha. Can I wear that in the polls?
Sure, as long as it's not a political campaign type of a shirt, you can wear that into the polls.
I can't wear, I'm voting for XY congressman.
Yes, you can't wear that in Dr. Ayers, or you have to turn it over and probably turn it backwards so that it can't be read. But the easiest thing to do is just know that you shouldn't wear campaign political clothing into the poll booth, or they're going to send you back out.
They're going to send you back out. So, but it's also very important that you take some form of ID.
Yes.
I have my driver's license, but if I didn't drive, I could have had my student ID.
You can have a student ID. You can have, I believe,
a state-issued ID.
A state-issued ID.
Passport.
Your work ID, your passport, lots of different ways. It's a whole laundry list. And while we're not going to go through each one of those right here, you can go to the Secretary of State's website, sos.ms.gov. Very easy to remember, sos.ms.gov, and it will list all of them, because I think you can use something like a power bill. Yeah. Doesn't have a picture on it, but it still serves as an ID.
And you can also call your tax. You can also call your election commissioners in your county where you are for information about that as well.
Yes, you should be able to
do that, because
they're
there. But they're working today.
They are working today.
They're there to answer the phone. Somebody's there to answer the phone.
Somebody's there, but they may be out troubleshooting.
That's
because sometimes there are problems at polling places, and they call them to come see if they can fix or look and see what's going on. They run out of supplies sometimes, and hopefully that'll be a problem today. That's a wonderful problem to have if they run out of supplies, because that means that the voting numbers are up.
But what if I get there and they've changed my voting place that I usually go to? They've closed it, or something has happened, and I don't know that, or if they told me I didn't see it, that they moved me to a different location. What do I do then if I go to my polling place I usually go and there's no one there?
Take a moment, use your cell phone. Most of you have smartphones. Use that to go either to the Secretary of State's website, sos.ms.gov. You can go to Y'all Vote and then put in there your zip code, and then it may ask you for your address, but it'll tell you what polling place you're supposed to vote at. You can go to the Hinds County website, and I think that's, it's long. It's hinds.county.us.ms or something like that. But just put in Hinds County Circuit Clerk.
Okay, so we're gonna hold that thought, yes, because we have to go out to this commercial. We're Ag and Culture.
At Heifer USA, we believe the backyard gardener can have a huge impact on their land, in their community, and on our climate. That's why we provide free virtual workshops for beginning, intermediate, and professional gardeners, teaching regenerative methods for growing healthy food while improving soil quality. Find us on YouTube at Heifer USA and join our online community of regenerative growers today.
Footprint Farms is a beautiful 68-acre vegetable and cattle farm located in Jackson, Mississippi, and is Mississippi's largest urban farm. The mission of Footprint Farms is to provide the community access to healthy food choices, introduce our youth to agriculture, and provide training and technical assistance to small farmers and ranchers. The farm is open to the public every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. to purchase fresh produce or visit us at the Mississippi Farmers Market located near the fairgrounds. We accept all forms of payment, including EBT and SNAP benefits. Looking for a beautiful venue for your next wedding, family reunion, or dinner? Footprint Farms offers a 3,000 square foot facility on 5 beautiful acres, perfect for your next event. For more information, visit our website at footprintfarms.com, Facebook and Instagram at Footprint Farms, or call us at 601-910-5534. Footprint Farms, farm fresh, city sweet.
Listen up. Every election is important, but the 2022 general election is one of the most important of our lifetime. If we don't vote, all the economic, educational, political, racial, gender, and cultural gains made since the end of slavery could be lost. That's why I'm coming to you asking. No, I'm begging you to vote absentee in person, vote absentee by mail after September 24th if you qualify. And by all means, if you can't vote absentee, vote at the polls on November 8th. A woman's right to make medical decisions about her body is already gone. Voting rights have been seriously suppressed. Let's not wait until your legitimate marriage is nullified or a segment of the population is again enslaved to understand how critical it is to vote. Your vote is the one that matters. Your vote is the one that can save our democracy. If you don't believe me, try it. Just go vote. Presented by Asa Philip Randolph Institute, Central Mississippi Chapter.
Welcome back. I'm Cindy AYERS-ELLIOTT, and you're with Ag and Culture today, and this is a special day for us. Let me thank our sponsor, Heifer International, Heifer USA, for allowing us to be able to bring this show to you. They're great friends. They're located in Arkansas. They are doing great work throughout the country, but especially right here now in Mississippi. And we're so proud to be a part of this. Today, we have our special guest with us who need no introduction, Judge E.J. Russell, and we're still talking about elections in America, in the USA, and in Jackson, Mississippi. Judge, talk to me.
Hey, exactly. And you know, earlier you reminded voters that Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court last summer. And as a result, there's been a lot of activity around that. Some states are electing their legislators, they're electing governors. Everybody, of course, is electing their congresspeople. So that has an indirect implication on us for future legislation regarding abortion. But there are several states, 5 to be exact, that have abortion issues on the ballot that their citizens will have an opportunity to vote on today. In Michigan, they have a reproductive freedom for all proposal that would protect the right to make a decision about all matters relating to pregnancy in the state, where there is a 1931 law that would make abortion illegal. Now that's been blocked from taking effect by a court ruling earlier this fall. So this legislation would give the people the opportunity to say, we want people to be able to provide their own decisions about it. Then you have California, where voters will decide whether to enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution. Separately, California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom has urged Hollywood not to film in places like Oklahoma and Georgia, where they have put in place stricter abortion laws. Now in Kentucky, those voters will be asked to approve a revision to the state constitution to make it clear that it does not protect the right to abortion. It's a safeguard against potential challenges for the state's existing abortion restrictions. Montana, the ballot initiative won't affect typical abortion access in the state, where the procedure is permitted until viability or, if necessary, to prevent a serious health risk to the mother. Rather, that measure would require mandatory medical intervention to save those the state defines as born alive infants, which can include fetuses diagnosed as non-viable. That was an interesting one to me. And then you have the state of Vermont. They have the Reproductive Liberty Amendment of, if enacted, would enshrine the right to an abortion in the state constitution. Abortion is already legal in the state without a time limit, and that would continue even if the amendment is passed.
So even though the U.S. Supreme Court has made this ruling, states can still go back and do some things different for themselves outside of this ruling?
Exactly, and so can Congress. That's why it's so important to know who you're voting for, because unless you have the right numbers and the people with the right belief systems that think that a woman should have control and be able to make decisions about her body, you're going to have that majority white male body making those decisions in Congress. And if it becomes legislative, or if they offer a constitutional amendment, it takes time, but they're willing to work for time.
You know, that goes to a whole different way. For me, it's just so hard to wrap my mind around not being able to make decisions with my physician about what's good for me. So government can step in and say, no, you won't. This is even with rape or incest, which is
no exceptions.
Or something major wrong with the fetus that you still have to carry. It's not like the carry law for guns. Anybody can do that, but they can dictate to you who can carry what you carry in your body. A whole nother topic on that, and that's going to take a whole nother show, and hopefully we'll be able to bring on some health professionals to talk about that as well. But right now we're talking policy, and policies that we're talking about now goes back to the elections that we're speaking of, because policies will be set by the people we elect today going into the table. For Congress, for in your judges, everything is policy. They're going to be looking at and interpreting as they interpret what the law is and what it says. So it's important that you look at the candidate that you're going to vote for. The main thing that is you're going to vote, but to know more about them and not just vote and say it's done. No, you still have to make sure that you're doing checks and balance. For today, we're only going to talk about the importance of getting out there and voting. We can't tell you who to vote for, but we can tell you this: you need to vote, and that you're important, and what you do makes a difference, and what you do impacts me, the neighbors, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and it affects people you don't even know. And because when they make this decision, it's going to be done. So you can't complain if you didn't go in to make a difference.
And it may not be you. If I had to guess, I may or may not would have an abortion, but I want you to be able to make that decision for yourself.
It's my right to be able to do it.
It should be. It's your body. Let's enact some laws that tell men what they have to do with their bodies.
We're going back to elections. And we're going to talk about this what's going on in Hinds County in the state of Mississippi about who's there. And other states, of course, all over America. All over America. But we're going to talk about something else too.
We're going to talk one more thing that's on the ballot today in several states that could impact us. Because there are already 38 states that have medical marijuana. Now, there are 19 states that also have recreational marijuana, and there are 5 additional states that are trying to be added to the recreational marijuana, and one of them's close to being a neighbor. That would be Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yes, for that. In Arkansas, Maryland, Missouri, North Dakota, and South Dakota, voters are being asked if they support legalizing the recreational use of marijuana for adults.
So you're telling me now that those states already have medical marijuana?
I'm not saying that because I don't know if they do, but what they want to do is have recreational marijuana, but it most probably is in addition to the medical marijuana.
More than likely. And of course, right here in Mississippi, it was done in the last session that medical marijuana in Mississippi is now legal, and they've given out so many licenses for growers. Unfortunately, for a lot of farmers who have land, they said, no, you can't have land and grow it. You got to grow it inside. That's another show. But
that's another
while we're on this show,
we're going to talk about voting. Because
voting.
If you know somebody in Arkansas, Maryland, Missouri, and the Dakotas, you call them and tell them,
but it's on their ballots today.
It's on their ballots. And they got until 7 p.m. their time to vote. The polls are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, that can be, you know, Pacific time. That can be Mountain time. It's still 7 to 7. Wherever you are, when that's 7 o'clock. It's kind of like the bewitching hour at midnight.
Yeah, so no glass slippers. A glass slipper here is that voting box. You got to go in. You got to vote today. You got to vote before 7. You can go right now. You can go on your lunch hour. Leave that television alone. That show going to be on. You can see it on Zoom again, so don't worry about it. Just get out there and vote. And if you don't have transportation, there's a lot of numbers that you can call to actually get rides to the polls. And if you've got any literature in mail, you pretty much can have that. But there are availabilities. And of course, call that neighbor. You know, you going to vote? Let me go with you. Or call that son, LeGrand, wherever you are. I need a way to the polls. We miss you, LeGrand. We know that you're working hard today, though. So Judge, and we're getting again down to the wire of understanding the importance of where we are and in this society. Now, one of the things you said when we opened, it's about democracy, about saving democracy. You want to give me a little bit more of your intake on that when you tell me this? It's about, what do you mean? What is it going to do to change my democracy? What is this going to do?
Well, if you can turn back a Supreme Court ruling that's been in place for over 50 years so that women no longer have control of their bodies, what's going to happen to mixed marriages? What's going to happen to mixed marriages?
That's illegal.
What's going to happen to LGBT rights?
So all this could be turned back.
All of that
and how about even for blacks in voting?
Blacks in voting.
See?
I mean, your right to vote. They're doing everything they can with the law as it currently exists to suppress you. You can't give somebody a bottle of water who's been standing in line to vote for 2 hours. Really, people? Those kinds of suppressions, making it harder. We're going to go back to telling them how many bubbles are in a bar of soap.
So is that a large bar of soap? Is that a small bar of soap?
Doesn't matter, because your answer is going to always be wrong, so that you can't register to vote. And then you know, you got poll tax issues. All of these things can come back. So look at who you are voting for, and a non-vote is a vote for that kind of an elected official.
By not voting, you're actually putting democracy in jeopardy. By not
really
using your constitutional right to vote. And it is your constitutional right now, but what we're saying is that that could be overturned depending on the state of mind. And right now, we know for the last 4 years before this, it was a major state of mind that wasn't for all the people, for some. We're coming up on a break right now. We're Ag and Culture. I'm Cindy AYERS-ELLIOTT, and my guest today is Judge E.J. Russell. We'll be back to talk to you soon about what's happening. Thank you for joining us today.
And we're going to stay local.
We're going to stay local. Okay, local it is.
Heifer USA is a leader in regenerative agricultural practices, like our pastured pork production operation. Raising pigs on pasture allows the animals to flourish in their natural habitat while building organic soil matter and restoring soil biodiversity. And we're sharing our knowledge with viewers like you with in-depth training videos on raising pastured pork, poultry, cattle, and sheep. Find us on YouTube at Heifer USA and join our online community of regenerative ranchers today.
Footprint Farms is a beautiful 68-acre vegetable and cattle farm located in Jackson, Mississippi, and is Mississippi's largest urban farm. The mission of Footprint Farms is to provide the community access to healthy food choices, introduce our youth to agriculture, and provide training and technical assistance to small farmers and ranchers. The farm is open to the public every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. to purchase fresh produce or visit us at the Mississippi Farmers Market located near the fairgrounds. We accept all forms of payment, including EBT and SNAP benefits. Looking for a beautiful venue for your next wedding, family reunion, or dinner? Footprint Farms offers a 3,000 square foot facility on 5 beautiful acres, perfect for your next event. For more information, visit our website at footprintfarms.com, Facebook and Instagram at Footprint Farms, or call us at 601-910-5534. Footprint Farms, farm fresh, city sweet.
Listen up. Every election is important, but the 2022 general election is one of the most important of our lifetime. If we don't vote, all the economic, educational, political, racial, gender, and cultural gains made since the end of slavery could be lost. That's why I'm coming to you asking, no, I'm begging you to vote absentee in person, vote absentee by mail after September 24th if you qualify. And by all means, if you can't vote absentee, vote at the polls on November 8th. A woman's right to make medical decisions about her body is already gone. Voting rights have been seriously suppressed. Let's not wait until your legitimate marriage is nullified or a segment of the population is again enslaved to understand how critical it is to vote. Your vote is the one that matters. Your vote is the one that can save our democracy. If you don't believe me, try it. Just go vote. Presented by Asa Philip Randolph Institute, Central Mississippi Chapter.
Welcome back to Ag and Culture. Today is a great day for us here in the studio. We're talking about something that's very important. It's Election Day. And we want to make sure that you have as much information as possible. Let me thank our sponsors, Heifer International, Heifer USA, for allowing us the opportunity to come to you. In Arkansas, they do great work, but all over the U.S., and especially right now in the state of Mississippi. We want you to be a part. Go and listen to their podcasts or videos. There's a lot of great information that you can use in your everyday life. But now we're back right here in Ag and Culture, and we have our guest, Judge E.J. Russell, Honorable, to talk about, and we're going to keep it close to home. We're talking about elections, and we're talking about Hinds County today, and our congressionals overall.
Yes.
Because it makes up, we have 4 congressional districts in Mississippi.
Yes.
And all 4 of those
Not
Congress
5.
people, all 4 of those Congress people are up for election. And of course, I'm in 2nd Congressional District, so I know that I will vote for my 2nd Congressional when I go out as soon as I leave the studio. But Judge, let's talk about it.
Okay, we've got a full ballot. Today in Mississippi overall. We've got some school board elections out there. We've also got redistricting. This is one of those things that has impacted our congressional seats, in that the 2nd Congressional District,
which we're in right here in Jackson and Hinds County.
That district got elongated by another probably 2.5 hour drive from north to south. It runs from all the way up North Mississippi, Tunica area, all the way down to Adams County to Louisiana.
Wilkinson County, passing that.
Yeah, to the Louisiana line, basically.
Yeah. From Tennessee line to the Louisiana line. Everything on the west.
You gotta drive all the way over there on that riverbank.
And that's Congressman Thompson district right now. And of course, he's up for election.
He didn't like it, but he has risen to the occasion and said, okay, you think I can't win with all of this? And we don't know unless you go to the polls. Don't be presumptive. But he got a whole bunch of new people that he's had to convince that he's the one for them to vote for. And he has a competitor, Brian Flowers, who is a Republican, and there's a Libertarian.
That's in there. But don't take it for granted that just because he's the incumbent, that he doesn't need your support, or whoever the incumbent don't need your support, if that's who you're supporting. But it's so important that you get out there and you vote. You go out there and you cast it. Picking up new people, adding new, purging out. Again, all this is part of what you have to do and deal with when you're an elected official. but who's sitting at the table? Who's making the policies? Who's talking to someone about how they're writing this? An A and an and or makes a big difference in how the language is written.
Power.
Words have power.
Yes.
And they have power enough to change major dynamics, because you can have a funding source that said may, or you can have a funding source that said shall. There's a big difference in that. May do it if I feel like it, depending on how I'm writing today, or shall means you will do this. It shall be done.
And it's important for you to know that while these congressional elected officials work for you in Washington, guess how they got there? Those redistricting lines are drawn by your state legislature, which is controlled 3/4 by one party.
Yes.
Now, and of
Mississippi
course,
is one
they're going
party.
to draw them like they want to draw them. And gerrymandering has basically been gutted by who? The Supreme Court.
So that means the gerrymandering, I don't care if you're here and I'm going to put you here, and I'm going to also bring your county in here. So instead of doing like this, you're doing this way, and then you're going to go this way.
Oh, it's crazy the way some of the districts look.
To do it.
It's absolutely crazy. But that's why your vote is important. That's why.
In every election.
In every election. That's why it's important for you to know and understand who you are putting in office to represent you. And I know that we've got a ballot here for Mississippi, for Jackson, Hinds County, so we're going to look at that in a minute. But if you know people in Pennsylvania, a race that's too close to call,
got cousins.
a man who had a stroke, who's
a lieutenant governor.
Wait a minute, who they said brain dead.
What?
Because he stumbled a couple of times.
Oh my goodness.
Over some words, but his doctor says he's fine and he's on his way back to full recovery.
And how many other people you know that hadn't had some health
How many
issues?
people do we know personally,
yes.
family members and things of that nature, who have suffered a major life health event and they are fine now? People who have cancer, does that mean that they can't continue to work and serve
or
and live a full life? But anyway, you've got that one, which is closely contested. We have a friend in Pennsylvania. We may need to remind her. I don't think we do, but just call her and see how things are going. Then you've got Georgia, where
very important state.
That's almost too close to call
your
when
cousins.
it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. You need to call if you got family there, you got
cousins,
friends
sisters,
there,
college
you need to
classmates.
call and say, did you vote today?
Did you vote?
It's
Please go
important
vote.
today.
Take a friend.
Call your sorority sisters or your fraternity brothers.
Exactly.
It's important to vote. Of course, that's one of the things that we know that we're going to do, because we're committed to the system of understanding and committed to making a difference in our community. We have to vote.
And our community is the whole United States, because every state impacts another state, and we are impacted by Canada and Mexico. So our community is a bigger community than just your little street.
That's so true. So
it
true.
is. And then you've got Nevada, which is a very close race. So if you know anybody who lives in Nevada, that's a Senate seat. And just think about.
If you know anybody in America,
call them and tell them to go vote.
And tell them they need to be sure to vote today.
Exactly. But we want you to know that in Hinds County, we were talking about that 2nd Congressional District, but you've got Michael Guest and Shawaski Young in the 3rd Congressional District. You've got Mike Ezell, you've got Johnny Dupree, and I believe another Libertarian.
In the 4th Congressional?
In the 4th Congressional District. And up north, you've got Trent Kelly and a Democrat opponent. And I can't think of that name.
I think
up
it's
in the
Brown.
north.
I think
Brown.
the last name is Brown.
Yes, up in the 1st Congressional District. But you do have some choices, so make your voice heard. If you are pleased with what your incumbents are doing, then go for it. You don't have an incumbent in the 4th Congressional District because Mr. Palazzo was defeated by Mr. Ezell, and Mr. Palazzo was the incumbent. So you got an opportunity for new blood, regardless of who you vote for in that 4th Congressional District.
And I know one of those candidates in 4th Congressional is Johnny Dupree, who's a former mayor of Hattiesburg. That's also part of that 4th Congressional. I think it's like 16 or 17 counties that make up that congressional.
Exactly.
So from Hattiesburg to all the way down, going south, and going south, east and west, but going south.
Yes,
to do that.
That's your
they
4th
make up that
congressional district.
fourth
So make
congressional.
sure you vote for those folk, because they decide whether you're going to have Social Security.
And recreation cannabis. The other side of that too, Judge, is that, you know, we have 4 congressionals, but it'd be so great if we could actually come together as a congressional and vote for some of the same things. If you go and look at the record,
Let it be bipartisan.
If you go bipartisan, but they're supposed to be still representing us Mississippians. But to look at it, that's never hardly the case. It's always like they're coming to benefit on the late end, but they're voting against it. You know, they voted against everything that, well, Mississippi congressional.
All of the structure.
All of the structure.
Structural stuff, all of the ARPA money and that kind of thing.
But they
we don't have
from
a whole
that.
lot of time, so we're going to run through these
We'll put that ballot
local
back
judicial.
up again?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to run through
Let's
these
put that
judicial
ballot up
ones.
again. Here we go.
Because we've got Chancery Court judges, we've got
Court of Appeals.
Well, most of them are not contested. The only one that is contested is Virginia Carleton, and that's down in the southwest Mississippi in the Columbia area over there, Columbia, Monticello. So she has an opponent, and that opponent is Bruce Burton. Bruce lives in the metro area. I believe he lives over in Clinton, but that's her competition for that. But please go out and vote. You've got Circuit Court District over with Adrian Wooten. That's going to be District 7-1, and her opponent is David Lindsay.
There's only one in that race?
There's two, Adrian Wooten and David Lindsay. Then you've got the Court of Appeals, like I said, Bruce Burton and Virginia Carleton. Carlin Hicks is unopposed in the County Court District race. Dwayne Thomas, all of our chancery judges are unopposed except for the seat vacated by Denise Owens, who retired this time around. And in that seat, you have another ballot for me. I think I know them.
But there's several in that one.
Well, that's the Circuit Court District. That's Deborah Gibbs, Brian Guy, Trent Walker, Wendy Wilson White. So it's 4 of them over in that race. Brian Guy used to work for Judge Tommy Green, I think. He's the one who said that he...
This is her former seat, though.
This is her former seat, the one that she retired. It will retire from at the end of December, is my understanding. And while we're talking about that Circuit Court District, though, there is a highly watched seat down in the Natchez area where Judge Lily Sanders is retiring at the end of the year also. We're going to be running out of time, but there are about 5 people in that race. But watch it, read it, pull up the Natchez Democrat, they'll tell you all about it.
Well, I tell you what, we're getting down to the end of our segment for this show. This is Ag and Culture. We're so happy that you joined us today. Please follow us on all of our
Season 2
platforms.
of Ag and Culture. And of course, we are talking culture. Tune in for great guests and conversation, breaking down all things agriculture. Watch us on our YouTube channel, MS Footprint Farms, and on Facebook at Footprint Farms. Every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, and 7 a.m. on the West. Proudly sponsored by Heifer USA.
Heifer USA is a nonprofit that supports small-scale, sustainable livestock businesses, and we are currently seeking individuals interested in pastured pork production in the state of Mississippi. Applicants should have access to at least 35 acres of land and be willing to participate in in-depth training, both online and in person at Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas. To learn about our operation, check out the Pastured Pigs playlist on the Heifer USA YouTube channel, or contact Farmer Engagement Specialist Ruth Canada at 501-391-5511.
Footprint Farms is a beautiful 68-acre vegetable and cattle farm located in Jackson, Mississippi, and is Mississippi's largest urban farm. The mission of Footprint Farms is to provide the community access to healthy food choices, introduce our youth to agriculture, and provide training and technical assistance to small farmers and ranchers. The farm is open to the public every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. to purchase fresh produce or visit us at the Mississippi Farmers Market located near the fairgrounds. We accept all forms of payment, including EBT and SNAP benefits. Looking for a beautiful venue for your next wedding, family reunion, or dinner? Footprint Farms offers a 3,000 square foot facility on 5 beautiful acres, perfect for your next event. For more information, visit our website at footprintfarms.com, Facebook and Instagram at Footprint Farms, or call us at 601-910-5534. Footprint Farms, farm fresh, city sweet.
When you mention agriculture, most people think of farming. That's planting, growing, harvesting, and selling crops grown in a field, laboring in those fields behind a mule and a plow from dusk to dawn every day. This vision is a big misconception and could not be further from the truth. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, the agricultural industry and related industries provide 11% of jobs in America. In 2017, it was reported that 21.6 million Americans were employed in the agricultural industry. Women and minorities are underrepresented in those numbers, and we encourage you to consider agriculture as a career. While farming may be the cornerstone of agriculture, the overall world of agriculture is highly innovative and is so much more than just farming. A new generation of agricultural professionals prepare to take on the science, technology, and management that exist in the world of agriculture. Jobs in agriculture are segmented into 7 basic categories, which include plant science, natural resources, food science, ag business, ag mechanics, and technology. In those categories, you can find individuals working as landscape designers, publicists, foresters, plant doctors, journalists, accountants, veterinarians, farmers, ranchers, lawyers, engineers, pet groomers, loggers, agronomists, zoologists, wind turbine technicians, researchers, policy analysts, food safety, drone pilots, robotics, and the list goes on and on and on. Let us take a moment to hear from a few of those professionals who work in ag.
I am Dr. Cindy AYERS-ELLIOTT, CEO of Footprint Farms, a 68-acre urban farm and ranch here in the city of Jackson. I hold a degree in Business Administration and Finance and a degree in Economic Development from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and a PhD from the I Love Jackson State University in Urban Management and Higher Education. I've worked 26 years on Wall Street, traveling the world, and today I'm a full-time farmer growing a varieties of specialty crops and raising livestock. I am a farmer.
Hi, my name is Bill Evans, and I'm the Director of Development and Chief Horticulturist at Biosoil Enhancers in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I've worked in vegetable crops for almost 30 years now, running university research farms in Ohio and Mississippi and doing applied soil and crop research. At Biosoil Enhancers, I write grant proposals for field research projects. I also conduct research and farm demonstrations on how bacteria and fungi can help plants get more nutrients from the soil and help conserve natural resources on farms.
Hello, I'm Tanya Gray Jenkins. I'm the Publicist and Social Media Director for Footprint Farms. I hold a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science from Jackson State University. As a publicist, I generate publicity through the use of techniques in advertising, marketing, and public relations. My primary duty is brand development through social media. As the Social Media Director, I manage the company's online community by reading customers' comments, answering questions, and actively engaging the audience.
Hi, my name is Dr. David K. Powell. I attended Jackson State University for 2.5 years as an undergraduate, majoring in biology before transferring to Tuskegee University, where I was accepted into the veterinary medical program, becoming a second-generation veterinarian to graduate from Tuskegee's program. I have also served in the military as an Army veterinary preventive medical officer and as a supervisory public health veterinarian with FSIS USDA.
My name is Dr. Kara Woods, and I serve as the research analyst at the Socially Disadvantaged Farmers and Ranchers Policy Research Center that's housed at Alcorn State University. I have a PhD from Tuskegee in Public Policy and Development. I manage all the research that's funded at the Policy Center to make sure that farmers get what they need in the Farm Bill.
Hi, I'm Captain John Martin with the Jackson Fire Department, and I do social media marketing. Social media is an essential component of farming because social media closes the gap between farmers and consumers. Social media marketing helps bring awareness and visibility to surrounding communities and abroad. Your average produce will have traveled at least 1,500 miles before entering your local grocery store. Social media marketing allows consumers to be informed and access better quality food in their local vicinity. Wow. It's so amazing seeing people connect and interact with local farmers via social media.
As you can see, agriculture offers endless career possibilities with endless opportunities for exciting, fulfilling, and profitable careers.